classic epic matches, and a lot of departures on this day in wrestling history. September 26, 42 years ago to this day, superstar Billy Graham lost to Dusty Rhodes in Madison Square Garden via countout. Dusty Rhodes went over on the superstar. I don't know how people felt about countout main events back in the day, but the real story is when you look back at it, it's a little weird. You had two big white dyed hair blonde fellas talking like black guys, kind of the jive talk. But it doesn't really matter because every race, every color, man or woman loved Dusty Rhodes, and you could say the same thing about Billy Graham, but everybody hated him. So it was good and evil, and that night 42 years ago, even though it was via countout, good one. 20 years ago, WWE produced Unforgiven. Why is this on this day in wrestling history? Well, this would be the last pay-per-view for head writer Vince Russo and Ed Ferreira. They would shortly go to WCW after this pay-per-view. I can't remember, but I bet that worked out pretty good. 14 years ago to this day, Spike would air its last episode of Monday Night Raw. Spike, formerly known as TNN. Like I brought up last episode, it was hard telling your friends that you watch TNN, but when they switched it to Spike, I was like, yeah, man, I'm watching Spike TV. It's radical, it's cool, it spikes. There's not very many words cooler than Spike. But they aired on Spike /TNN for 5 years in one day, and then we went right back home to the USA Network. USA. This day, 11 years ago, the CW Network would cut ties with the WWE, airing its last episode of WWE Smackdown. Why? Because they had to put all their crappy superhero shows on. It is crazy now, looking back, that SmackDown used to be on the CW Network and on UPN and all these other weird channels, and now it's moving to Fox, one of the biggest channels in the world, if not Montana. 6 years ago to this day, Hulk Hogan left TNA pretty much like 2 days after his contract was over. Report says that Dixie Carter tried to keep him in TNA, but he wasn't having it. He wanted to go on to do something better, like make racist sex tapes. It's a small niche audience. I don't think it worked out for him. On a serious note, he was filmed unknowingly and was able to sue for $140 million. Brother. And that was on this day in wrestling history. I'm Chad. If you like the channel, hit like, subscribe, tell your friends, and don't forget to chop that notification bell, bros. If you like that video, you can follow us on Facebook at Shots and Chop Wrestling. Remember to like, subscribe, and to chop that notification bell.